Pat, when athletes age, usually, like you can see signs of erosion, but the worst case scenario, like Mike Conley in the playoffs, you're like,
Yes,
oh
right.
man, he got his pocket picked there, or he was unable to get around like the defender on that screen and roll because he's losing a step, and it's like I guess you have to pull him.
Yeah.
Well, Red Panda is aging as an
Yes.
athlete,
Oh,
and
yes.
there's real no like graceful way to go over the age cliff when you ride a unicycle and kick bulls on your
And
head. She
I
fell
hope
last night.
I hope she got away with just a broken wrist. The way it sounds that. But I was there, but I didn't see the incident. But someone came in and said Red Panda fell, and I saw her there. She's it's hard to go to a game and not see Red Panda. Basically, she's there so often. But I saw her at Timberwolves playoff game, and she was really good that night. I thought, here she is, 60 years old and still doing it, and she had the crowd going crazy. Last night she lasted a minute, right? It was
Yeah,
early.
she didn't even get the bulls. Yeah,
It
it was
was
bad.
early in the routine, and down she went. And I think she's going to have to contemplate her future. That in that she might have to become a instructor of that craft, and teach young people to follow in her in her unicycle steps or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Has there
yes, it
ever has there
was.
ever been like a documentary about her, or like how do you get started? I see you
Yes,
see people riding unicycles in the park and whatever sometimes, but how do
yes,
you go from I am a unicycle rider to I'm going to flip bulls onto my head while I
yes,
ride said
yes,
unicycle, you
and
know?
and it's going to be my living for what when's the last first time you saw her? 25 years
25 years
ago.
ago?
Yeah,
and
25 years
and
ago.
and to make that living, it's not that I'm pretty good at flipping bulls on my head. Like I bat 500, I'm pretty good. It's like, no, you need to be almost perfect at flipping those bulls on your head. It's crazy.
Unless someone beats me to it, I think I got a column for next Wednesday, don't you?
I think you probably
Red
do.
Panda at all the athletic contests. I'll have to. Our intern was working hard on this story, and she got a hold of the agent last night, and he didn't have a report at the time, but she could. Uh, I assumed she had an agent, but I'm going to have to contact the agent and you know get an interview with Red Panda. Is she a local? We have no idea where she's from, right? But she's
She's
sure,
not
sure
local.
she's here a lot though,
Yep.
man. She's
Yeah, she travels around a ton. I
yeah, yeah.
and she's about 50. So I found it last night. She's either 53 or 54.
Okay.
So she's
Well,
up there as far as what she's trying to do. No offense, Red
yes,
Panda.
I mean it's well. Where do you take that craft? What do you do with it? The next step, where do you go okay, now that I've done this my whole career, but what am I going to do next? You know, teach people in the kitchen staff how to really move the plates around
Other head, kick it on your head.
we watch all these stupid shows about chef where they call everybody chef, hey chef, hey chef. The guy washes toilets and they call it chef. Get out of here, chef. Well, she might have to get in there and get the kitchen staff a little more proficient or something.
So
I
she
don't
does
want to
have
be.
she has a Wikipedia page with also there's like statistics in here
Yeah, that's where I found it.
Mhm.
that the performance lasts about 5.5 minutes, includes 16 metal bowls painted white, and she estimates a perfect show about 80% of the time historically.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I was, as I said a couple of weeks ago, Wolves game, I was really impressed that she was, because she went, and I think when she's there for a playoff game and the place is full and there's a lot of pressure on, you kind of throw a little extra plate into the situation for you there. But you know what? A harder job than that, though, was the Coast Guard cook who spent the summer blowing himself up, Captain Dynamite. That was an even more risky task, I think, and I did get to. interview Captain Dynamite while he was drinking in the twins' room, and his ears were bleeding from the dynamite that he. That's the time that he knocked himself out. And Don Cassidy, the promotions guy, thought he had killed him. He was laying out there flat at second base. He said, "I killed him." And an hour later, no, I think they did it after the. Did they do it after the game? I think they did it.
They probably did after.
After the game, yeah, because otherwise they might have had a big hole behind second base during the game. So, yeah, half hour later he's in there drinking in the press room with the blood coming out of his head. So that was.
Can't hear anything you're saying.
No, I would think that. I would think that the captain had to have hearing aids there.
You've got a slam dunk column now for sure. Like you've been there for all of the greats, sort of the end.
Yes, near the end. Yeah, I don't. Captain, there were several Captain Dynamite. There was like a couple, three of these guys that went around. But this was the guy that would end up in Major League parks and AAA parks. I think we had some Captain Dynamites who ended up, like in Fulda blowing themselves up with a little bit of dynamite or something. So that's another one. That's another one. Phil, you wonder how Red Panda decided this was a good idea and I'm going to do this. How did Captain Dynamite decide this was a good idea?
I don't know. Yeah,
to put explosives around a box and then go.
Yeah. And there's another less dangerous but prominent halftime performer. So Christian Stoinev is a friend of Purple Daily. He's the guy with the Chihuahuas.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the gymnast acrobat guy that performs with his usually it's like just one Chihuahua, sometimes two. And how do you figure out that if I do forward somersaults, my dog can like walk the other way around my body as I can do a handstand and my dog will like stand on my feet. What's the first time you practice?
Those dogs like to please their owners. So you just got to train them, I guess. But yeah, it is, like we used to be amazed at when Musselman first came here and we had George Shower with the bicycle. Well, he was juggling basketballs on this high, like, on a bike. That's not climbing up on some damn tricycle that's 9 feet high, juggling stuff like poor Red Panda. That's a real art. Who else do we always see? The beyond her.
Red Panda, Christian are kind of the two biggest ones going right now. And then, well, isn't there's another one? It's like a contortionist who goes in like the small box. It's like an acrobat contortionist.
Yes.
I feel like that's a once a year thing for sure.
A Red Panda, I got to think during the NBA season is just packed. I bet she's out 5 nights a week. I bet.
And she dented the
college basketball games too. She's
that's right.
And she dented the court. Is that right? I saw him like trying to get this court was scuffed.
I think it was more. It was discolored. I think was what it was. Maybe she dented it a little bit, but it was discolored for some reason. I don't know what it was, but. Yeah, I'm sure it came as a great shock to her because it happened so early in the routine. You gotta. There's not. You know what? You can't be doing this with plates and then be thinking, where am I going to have a drink after? Like when you're writing or doing, you can have other thoughts. You can think about other things that you might. What am I going to do on the 4th or stuff? You can't be doing that when you're.
You got to be locked in.
When you're Red Panda.
So how would you rank the nights last night of Red Panda, the Minnesota Lynx, and the Twins, who once again had like 2 hits in 3 hours?
The Lynx have got. That was pretty impressive. They're ahead 27-14 against a team that doesn't have Caitlin.
Yeah.
And they went from 5.5. I looked it up. They were 5.5 point favorites in the morning, and then they were 9.5 when Caitlin wasn't going to play. And they're up 27-14. They aren't playing great. With 8 minutes to go in the half, they don't score the rest of the half. And it's 32. And then the other team gets the first bucket of the second half, and they go another minute without scoring. They went 9 minutes without scoring and got outscored 20-0.
It's crazy.
It was, and Nafisa, who's the best player in the world, and the next Maya Moore was terrible. And then she ended up getting in a jawing contest with Aaliyah Boston. If there's anybody in that league you don't want to get in a jawing contest with, it's her. She's a moose, and a very talented one too. So yeah, it was a rather disgusting performance, and a lot of little kids. I saw one gal there. She was in a wheelchair. I think it was because of mobility, not because she was, but her and her granddaughter were in front of an entrance at like 3:30 with their 22 jerseys. Then she had a daughter and another granddaughter who were down at another entrance, and they had paid 500 to sit in the front row for 2 seats, and then Caitlin doesn't play, so that was a little disappointing. But we were not good last night. But one thing, our guy Phil Miller's one of the people who's taking the buyout, and he'll be leaving at the end of this season. I think he's staying at the end of this season at the Star Tribune as one of our 2 outstanding baseball writers. But Phil, through the years, has been Mr. Rain Delay, right? He's if Phil's there, you got a fighting chance to have a 2.5-hour rain delay. Although I think Bobby Nightingale got the 4-hour one. I think he got that one. So, but Phil now the last couple of days has gotten a little quickness back into the game. He's on this road trip between Scooble on Sunday and whoever the hell was pitching last night. 0 runs, 4 hits, 5 total bases, 2 walks, 23 strikeouts, and total time of 2 games, 4 hours and 27 minutes. It's unbelievable.
Let's go. Hey, you know what? Get it over with quickly.
Right.
If you're gonna get beat in 2 hours. Let's do it.
By the time I realized they were playing, the game was over last night. I didn't even check in. Who was this? And we're bad mouthing the Marlins as a lousy team, but they've won one.
They won 8 in a row.
Yeah,
they're 8 in a row. But who's the guy? Which one of the Cabreras is this that pitched against him? I don't know.
This is Edward Cabrera.
Has he been around a while?
He's been really good this year. He's been with the Fish for his entire career. He's been all right. But this year he's kind of come into his own a little bit.
And I didn't look at the capacity crowd that the Marlins drew for this game. Did we reach 10,000? We usually don't.
Let's take a look here.
Sure didn't look like it on TV.
Yeah.
Attendance for this one was... Oh, man. The anticipation's killing me.
7,860 last night.
The other day,
Yeah.
a week ago or so, they were home on a Friday night against somebody good, and they had Braves, I think, or something. They had 10,000. So they are mad enough at their fans that they actually announce real attendance. They don't pad it like the rest of us. They're trying to, basically ridicule their fans by having those small crowds. But you know what? You know what the Twins' motto is now? Whatever it takes to lose. If we have to give up 16 runs, we can do that. If we have to get 0, we can do that. We can do that too. If we get real good pitching, like if Joe Ryan's out there, we got to make sure this is a game where we don't score any runs, right? Whatever it takes to lose, that's our motto.
When is the last time home attendance has spoken loudly? This is I believe the Twins are on pace for their lowest average attendance. If you take the pandemic year out, the lowest average attendance since 2000 at the Metrodome.
Yes.
So 25 years. Just in terms of your gut feel, when is the last time that the general feeling about this team, fans, everything, has been so nondescript and apathetic?
I don't think that. I think there's a certain select group that's angry, and they go on Twitter and they get rid of the poll ads and all that. But I don't think it's anger. I think it's complete apathy. I think it's like they don't know they're playing. People don't know they're playing. Don't. Yeah, it'll be interesting because August, you used to traditionally get the farmers from Barnesville that would, have their one weekend of the year where they brought like 5 or 6 people to the game. And I don't think there's nearly as much of that. But even in the years where they were terrible, there would be a little boost in attendance in August. You could see that the rural types would come in here and the Metrodome and stuff. But I don't know. I think it's it's a real Twins problem, but it's a baseball problem too, don't you think? Baseball in general.
Kind of. I mean,
The other
it's
day we have a big story on. There's 2 soccer. Who the hell? What was that going on at the soccer? We had,
there's the Gold Cup, the
yeah,
CONCACAF Gold Cup.
We had a doubleheader, or what? Was Canada
Yeah.
playing here, and then we played.
It's a big international regional tournament. It looks like it's headed for a U.S.-Mexico final at some point here.
Boy, I'll be
big
excited.
Rivalry.
But I mean, that's I don't know. People, the last time I was there, which wasn't recently, I was shocked at the number of people in their 60s, couples that I would identify as baseball fans, that would have been people going to baseball games that were there, and, rural type people watching soccer. What the hell's wrong with you people? This is America.
You're not supposed to watch soccer in America.
Right. This is America. This is America. But it's bad right now, and they got to stop fooling themselves that they're that they're protecting something here. You got to make some big moves, and this is the perfect year to trade a lot of people off and get back what you can, because nobody's going to come to the games anyway. So
yeah,
it's
but then there's this overarching question of, okay, if you're the poll ads and you're trying to get 1.7 billion for the team, if you then are labeled as a fire sale team, does that and not that I agree with you. It doesn't. The ship has sailed at this point.
I mean, when Tampa sells for 1.7, allegedly, I don't know. By the way, they're coming to town Friday.
Yep.
Is this the most? I have this theory. This is the most amazing organization in American sports. They're fighting the Yankees for first place.
It's crazy.
The Yankees payroll $288 million. Their payroll, which is a record, $88 million. $88 million, and how do they do it? What do they do? I mean, they've been in the playoffs with $38 million payrolls. How the hell do they do it?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It is, but until they win a championship, that's the thing. Like the Oakland A's Moneyball never really worked. They never won a championship. Okay, well.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's it was a more simple life when we didn't put 6 teams in the playoffs, because we haven't made the playoffs in 8 years. Well, I come from the generation where, hey, we had a pretty good year. We finished 3rd.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. They're missing, Lopez, and they're missing Ober. He's there, but he's a negative, and the lineup's never been that good, so they're just not good. That's
a new slogan. They should lean into the new slogan. Hey, it's
just
Minnesota
not good.
Twins baseball. We're just not that good, quite frankly.
Right. When it was nice of them, though, Declan. I saw that the people who stayed for 4 hours for a rain delay, we've consulted. And now we're announcing that if you're on a list here, we'll give you a ticket for a game.
I think that's the Twins ticket office calling Pat right now, actually. Yes.
Derek Falvey just pulled the plug on us.
How dare you talk negatively about the business that I run? Well, I guess we'll catch up with Pat sometime either later this week or after the 4th. Reusse Unchained here on Score North. Minnesota Twins, we're just not that good.